Welcome to the Doomed Planet podcast, episode 70, canceled in Ukraine.
A U.S. Marine veteran killed while fighting alongside Ukrainians. 22-year-old Willy Cancel is being hailed as a hero. Griff Jenkins joins us live from Kyiv with more on his story and the latest there on the ground. Good morning, Griff.
Hey, Dana. Willy appears to be the first U.S. citizen known to be killed while fighting alongside the Ukrainians.
The first casualty of war is, of course, the truth. The story of Willy Cancel being the first American fighting alongside Ukrainian forces to die in their war against Russia. And by their war, let's make one thing perfectly clear. This is a proxy war between the United States and the West and Russia. And guess who suffers? Oh, the people of Ukraine. How does that work? That's so shocking that war works that way. Washington Post, April 29th, that's yesterday. You know, I'm not believing anything I hear about Ukraine these days or taking it with a grain of salt. But this guy, Willy Cancel, his wife, Brittany Cancel, did not respond to messages. But she told Fox News that her husband leaves behind a 7-month-old son. So you have just had a baby, and your thinking is, well, there's a good chance I might get killed by Russian forces in Ukraine, but I'm going to go over there because it's something I really believe in, even though, well, maybe he does. I mean, our entire lives, we've been fed nothing but lies from the government and the media, especially concerning anything to do with communism or any country that is not, aligned with the U.S. hegemony, which is, cluster bombs and will bomb you if you don't do what we say. What a cretinous creep this guy Cancel was. And what was he thinking? And he's working, by the way, for a private contractor. So he's going fighting alongside Ukrainian forces, some of which are Nazis, of course, but being paid by a shady private contractor. But you know what? His poor wife, Brittany Cancel, needs money now, and she's got a GoFundMe, help raise funds for Willy Joseph Cancel's family. She's raised $58,000 out of a $25,000 goal. This was posted 1 day ago. Valor, great courage in the face of danger, especially in battle. This one single word says so much about an individual. On March 3rd, 2022, our son, Willy Cancel, made the decision to put himself in the face of danger in order to protect the innocent. He said, quote, "I have to do it because nobody else will. Nobody else is going to go help Ukraine except the most powerful nation on earth and all of its criminal associates pumping money and CIA know-how and weapons into Ukraine in their proxy war against Russia. Don't get me wrong, Putin is a dick, a bloodthirsty dick who who invades places, but let's get real about this. On April 26th, his wife got the worst call of her life. Your husband fought bravely, but unfortunately he did not make it. Who made that call? Was it shady private ex-CIA contractor something? He was an infantry United States Marine Corps, a volunteer fireman in Walden, New York, a prison guard. God, that's, I think, the lowest person on earth other than, a pedophile, a murderer would be a prison guard. And you got to feel sorry for these people in rural communities. It's their only job option is to go into a hellhole prison and be abusive and murderous toward the incarcerated. But what kind of person would do that? I mean, you really have to be fucking stupid to do that. Like, even cops that don't get through the 8th grade know that they don't want to be prison guards. Brittany was also former Marine. Her life has now completely fallen apart. She has to figure out how to raise her 7-month-old son that her father, bravely, fighting for Ukraine was more important than his 7-month-old son. We're starting a fundraiser to help Willy's family and alleviate some of the financial burden that Brittany, who's now a widow, is facing at the young age of 22. She lost her, so many cliches. You just can generate this with an algorithm. While he will grow knowing that his father died a hero, we know this will not be easy. Now, there's no real information about how he died or where. And of course, the first casualty of war will never hear the truth. This cretinous prison guard creep is going to become like this Pat Tillman hero. It's already happening in the media. The stories spread like wildfire in the past day. We graciously ask for any help possible to help support Willy's wife and son. 654 people have donated. So anyway, Willy made a dumb decision, left behind a baby and widow, and now he has been canceled. Goodbye, Willy. Speaking of crowdfunding for tragedies, obviously it shows how sick our society is when so many people have to crowdfund for medical care. I just donated, I subscribe to some podcasts and stuff, but I just donated to my first ever, tragic GoFundMe. And it's just got to me. It's this guy saying, I never thought the last year of my 20s I would be diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And, he actually has medical insurance, but guess what? That doesn't cover everything. So I gave him some money. And he didn't put himself in harm's way. I don't think he has kids or a wife to support. He just got struck with the, tragic roll of the dice.
Grab a bucket and mop. Scrub the bottom and top. There is nothing so clean as my burger machine. With a broom and a brush, clean it up for the rush. Before you open the door, or to shine on the floor.
Geez, what good is an obituary podcast when no one is dying? None of the bad people are dying. Henry Kissinger is still alive. All the godforsaken war criminals at Madeleine Albright's funeral, other than Madeleine Albright, they're all still with us. They haven't died. The Clintons, the Obamas, Joe Biden. He's Joe von Hindenburg is very, very old. This podcast has a bright future if we're going to cover major war criminals. Anyway, another half-assed month goes by with a half-assed 10-minute podcast. Got to make my $7 that I pay for hosting every month. Got to make it worthwhile. Got to please those fans. Hopefully we'll get our act together. I've been saying that all third season. It's been pretty half-assed. I did write a song for Willy Cancel. And we'll see you next time. DoomedPlanet.com. We're on Twitter. DoomedPlanetPod@gmail.com. Willy Cancel went to Ukraine, where he got canceled. They blew out his brains. Willy Cancel went to Ukraine, leave behind a widow and a 7-month-old baby. You fucking idiot. Working for a private contractor, fighting the United States proxy war with Russia. Well, at least you didn't get nuked, Willy Cancel. Maybe your widow will suffer that fate. Prison guard. Kicked out of the Marines. Loser, probably? Only 22. Going to fight in Ukraine. You'll be a hero. Now you're a martyr. You are a hero. But you're dead. You're on an obituary podcast run by a loser. And you are a loser too, Willy Cancel. Goodbye. Chopping, gouging, slicing and stabbing, looting all the stores and everybody's grabbing. Politicians and the media telling their lies. Hey everybody, you need guillotine supplies. Torches, pitchforks, guillotine supplies. You'll find it at Chop Mart. Chop Mart, 1789 Skagsport Way South, Cedro Woolley, Washington, 98284.